Brothers and sisters, what is up? Welcome back to yet another one from us. We are trusting, hoping, and believing that all is well with you. We are coming to you with news from the UN right now.
The UNGA.
Right now, the UNG. Is it 80 or 79?
I'm not 79.
I think it's 79. UNGA79 is currently taking place in Washington, D.C. And we've seen a lot of presidents, African presidents, flocking in their numbers. South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, almost all of them have gone to the UN General Assembly. 79, right?
Yeah.
So it's usually something that I think most of them look up to in terms of representation. We are there to talk about what we are doing, talk about issues that we feel like are going to affect us as African countries. How can we? So they go there with the hope to talk.
To create their name, to boast, to show their masters that
this is what we are doing.
Like,
this is
like some are going to say Haiti, blah blah blah. And all that.
So a lot of them actually do go there to to boast. Some of them do go there to raise issues of major importance, especially issues that affect the African continent. Some also mention issues that the UN is maybe doing that are not good for Africa. But it's always been talks. This is the 79th one. The UN has, for me, I don't know for other people, it has not really taken any positive action towards some of these things that have been raised up by our president. Sometimes it's just talk, and nothing after the talks. So what we are seeing right now is before the UN General Assembly started, the US had already mentioned that it's going to be backing 2 permanent seats for African nations on the UN Security Council. And right now, the UNGA has started, and this is the time for the US to, back up this decision.
So Africa will get 2 permanent
seats on the UN Security Council. And we had seen Mam Naledi Pandor from South Africa, Minister of Foreign, was it Foreign or International Relations? I don't know. In South Africa, she had been so vocal about this. We need a permanent seat. We need to be on the table. We need to be making decisions. But right now we are seeing the US saying, we will vote for this. We will back this up. We will raise this issue. But
if the US backs it, then it will happen because the UN is the US.
But is it something that Africa can celebrate?
We cannot, because definitely the people who will be representing will be their own.
Even if they are not their own, the thing about this, before you even get to the article, they will have eventually the 2 permanent seats. But will these seats give them veto power? Because that is the important thing about being on the table. Anything else is just, yes, we have the seats, but are we able to take decisions?
Not just veto power. We saw Russia in the last UNGA talking very eloquently about what is happening with Ukraine. We also saw Palestine talking because it's people who are being killed in Gaza. What has changed?
Nothing.
And they are in the permanent council.
Yeah. So we currently have 5: US, UK, France, Russia, and China. So those are the ones that are currently the permanent 5 permanent ones with veto power. And then we have non-permanent ones without veto power. And the rest are just there to accompany these guys when they make decisions. So what is currently happening is that the US wants to, back Africa. And this is what the news says. The United Nations announced that it will support the addition of 2 new permanent seats for African countries on the powerful UN Security Council, and the first ever non-permanent seat for a small island developing nation. U.S. Ambassador to the UN leader Thomas Greenfield made the announcement in a speech to the Council on Foreign Relations, calling it a follow-up to the U.S. President Joe Biden's announcement 2 years ago that the U.S. supports expanding the 15-member body. While Africa has 3 non-permanent seats on the Security Council, that doesn't allow African countries to deliver the full benefit of their knowledge and voices, she said. That is why, in addition to non-permanent membership for African countries, the U.S. supports creating 2 permanent seats for Africa on the Council, Thomas Greenfield said. It is what our African partners seek, and it's what we believe is just. However, Thomas Greenfield later said Washington opposes giving veto power to the African countries that would hold the 2 permanent seats. because the veto makes the Security Council's work dysfunctional.
So it's nothing.
So that view shows the limits in the amount of power that Washington wants to give to any other country. While Security Council resolutions are legally binding, they are often ignored by targeted countries.
That thing is usually not democratic, and it's usually very unfair. Because let's say if they say we want Israel to cease bombing Palestine.
Africa cannot vote.
No, even if all the countries vote, this guy will pull out the veto powers and say, let it continue.
Of course.
We are selling guns.
And they have all the powers.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. That's why I keep on saying the UN is the US.
Now, the thing about African countries, our African leaders, they will be excited by the fact that they are given a seat on the table. For them, it will be like, because imagine if Ghana is given and South Africa is given. To them, it will be excitement to say, we are now on the table. We now have a voice on the table. But do you really have the power? You don't have any power. And the US is doing this to please Africa. The US is seeing that it is losing its, popularity in Africa. And the only way maybe to regain its popularity and liking in Africa is to raise such issues that will make Africa boast that now we have the seat on the table. Because all this time Africa was saying we need a seat on the table. But was Africa very clear that we also need to have veto power? I think that's where we lost it as Africa, because having the seat, you will get the seat, and then
nothing. Imagine the 5 permanent seats that is China, France, Russia,
US.
UK, and US. They have the veto power, and they are permanent. Then why would Africa be made permanent without veto? It's like telling me, I'm going to give you a fruit, an apple, but you only get 3/4.
What we are saying.
Because we don't trust you. You like a baby. You cannot make good decisions. It's the same thing.
And for Africa to accept this, but Mam Naledi Pandor said that she would not accept it if it's without the veto power. I don't know if our leaders will even...
They don't care. If it's the like of those who accept
will they even oppose this? Will they even...
NATO designation. They will just celebrate and say it's a good beginning.
Now we have. Yeah, for them it will be a beginning, a good start. And it may take another 8 decades for you to get veto power.
It's actually a disappointment. It's a disappointment, a very big disappointment. Guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. Are you disappointed like we are, or we could wait? Why do you even follow these people when we can make our own big...
Dr. Arikana has always said that don't go to these things. They are useless for Africa. But now we are being lured with seats on the table, even more trouble for Africa.
How do we benefit except getting more loans? It's a disappointment. We are still, fighting for Africa, and we hope that wherever you are, you keep spreading the word and supporting Africa.
Brothers and sisters, if you would love to support us, we have these Fulani heads, only $50 each. You can order one with the number on the screen, Telegram or WhatsApp us. We will definitely arrange for you to get the hats. We also have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description box. You can also use that to support us. One coffee goes for $5. We can appreciate as many as you would love to support us with. Also support us by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing on the channel. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.